listening to the Lance J Radio Show on Advent Sports Network.
Monday morning, the Lance J Radio Show. Got my man, Alan Boseman, with me today. He's going to talk some Cleveland Cavs basketball. Last night, Kyrie Irving came back to the Cavs. He has not played throughout this season. We all know the backdrop as far as Kyrie going out in the finals and versus Golden State, and the Cavs really holding it down for a few games with Dellavedova and LeBron and company, but coming up short. Cavs looking really good this year. Bench is much deeper. LeBron's still looking good. Love is looking much better. The coaching is much better. So I want to give Alan a chance to sound off on what the Cavs are going to do. Can you guys compete? What's going on? How'd y'all look last night?
Oh, man, we look good, man. It was a walk in the park. I mean, we played the Sixers, who aren't much of a franchise right now, so you can't take too much from that game because, I mean, they're JV, we're varsity. It's not even a competition. But, you know, still, it's an NBA game, and to get Kyrie back and to see him out there doing the things that makes him such a great player. Obviously, in limited minutes, he started off pretty rusty, but, you know, you expect that he probably had jitters going. He's pretty excited. But, I mean, we look like we're going to be a juggernaut come June. And, you know, I say June because I'm predicting that we're going to be in that championship game playing either Golden State, San Antonio, or Oklahoma City, one of those three teams. And I just really see good things coming from us. I mean, Kyrie's just a dynamic player, and I think people don't understand we're the number one seed in the East right now without one of the 3 to 5 best and at most 7 best point guards in the entire NBA. And so that's saying a lot. And we've been injured all season with Shumpert out almost every game, but I think 2. Mo Williams out. But if you haven't watched the Cavs, man, we're a deep team, man. Deli is, I know he was kind of a joke punchline last year, but he's really come back. He's really, really a solid player. Tristan's a good player off the bench. Deli balls. I mean, every game. I mean, it's like he's reliable. And so I think when people see us who haven't really seen us play, they'll realize that this is a very different team than last year with Richard Jefferson coming along. We have Verjao back, who was a very important member of our team for a long time. And now we have him coming with Mozgov starting to round in the shape. I mean, we really got a deep team. I think we're one of the few teams that can compete with Golden State because we can play big and take advantage of one of their weaknesses, and we can play small to deal with one of their strengths.
So, for those listening, I'm talking to Alan Boseman on the Lance J Radio Show. I was in Cleveland last year during the finals. Alan clowns me a lot. I was at your house sitting with your family with the all-in T-shirts and the all-in towels. Cleveland ultimately came up short. I felt that it was LeBron's best performance in the finals. But this year, Golden State gets off to a 23-0 start, or I believe it was a 24-0 start. Everyone's talking about Golden State. Everyone's talking about Steph Curry. Everyone's talking about can Golden State win 72 or more games this year. I will admit, and you and I have talked offline, that the Cavs are kind of getting lost in the shuffle. I mean, you guys, if it's possible for a LeBron James team to fly under the radar, you're flying under the radar. What is the mood and the pulse of the city as far as what they feel? Are the Cavs getting the respect that they should? Because you can make a lot of excuses and say a lot of various things. The truth is, it took Golden State 6 games to beat a very understaffed Cavs team last year in the finals.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the mood in the city's great, man. I mean, we've been without Kyrie all year. Like I said, we've had a lot of injuries, and yet and still I believe we're 18-7, number 1 in the East. You know, notwithstanding a few bad stretches, our record looks even better. But I mean, we're just getting Kyrie back. I mean, we really think that he is one of maybe 2 people, probably I would say him and Westbrook, and maybe Lillard on some occasions, who can like really go at Steph Curry, who can really make him work. And Steph right now, look, he deserves all the credit he's getting. He's the best player in the league right now. You know, I mean, if I was starting the franchise right now and I want Steph or LeBron, today's LeBron versus today's Steph, I may take today's Steph. I mean, he's younger, he's got a better, brighter future, and all those things. But LeBron is still LeBron, and he's playing with a guy like Kyrie, who is somebody who can go pound for pound with Steph. And I think ultimately LeBron, as usual, is going to tip the balance in the finals if we play them, because Kyrie and Steph, I see them neutralizing each other. And Draymond Green, I don't care how good you think he is, he's not LeBron. So that advantage is going to go to LeBron every time. It's going to go to LeBron every time. So I mean, it's going to be interesting, man. And we feel good, we feel confident. We just want to keep playing well because we know we're realistic. We know there's no getting to the finals for us in Cleveland. We know we have to win. So we're not getting cocky or puffing our chest and pounding our chest and saying, we're the team to beat. But we do think we're the team to beat. We're quietly confident. We know that we can play big. We know we can play small. So we're not worried about playing if we have to play the Spurs, if we have to play Oklahoma City. You saw what we did to Oklahoma City the other day. They're full. They have their entire roster. We were missing Mo Williams, we were missing Kyrie, and we're missing Shunk. 3 of our top backcourt players. And so
three rotational guys, definitely.
Yeah, that are getting minutes every night. And we pretty much took care of Oklahoma City pretty easily. I mean, I'm not saying they got up on us big at one point. We got up on them big at one point. But at the end of the day, we took care of them pretty easily. And so, and Coach Black, he's not going to get the respect he deserves, but he has been a phenomenal coach this year. His second half adjustments have been amazing. There have been so many games where we didn't play well the first half, and the game plan that they went in with just wasn't working. And the next thing you know, they come out the second half with an entirely different game plan. Sometimes he'll start someone different. Sometimes he'll make a different wrinkle in the defense or in the offense. He'll get the ball moving again. He's really been a good coach. Now, I hope that's not getting lost in the shuffle of what's going on in the NBA, of how good of a coach Coach Black's been. And it shouldn't really be a surprise. I mean, he's a well-renowned coach, and as long as he can get LeBron to buy in, I think he's going to be very, very successful.
How do you feel, Alan, as we kind of come to a close, how do you feel about the Cavs' ability to stay healthy? I know that I've been caught in some interesting conversations in our personal circle. I think very highly of Golden State, the team, as far as their ball movement and their strategy, their ability to stretch the floor. I have said that their roster is a very good roster, but if you have a full, healthy Cavs roster that's gelled, that roster is comparable. You see what the Spurs are doing with some of the offseason pickups that they've made. Their roster looks comparable. If you look at having Durant back at full strength and having him and a Westbrook maybe being perhaps the second and third best players in the league, or at least 2 of the top 5 best players in the league on the same team. From a roster viewpoint, there are rosters that can definitely hang with Golden State, and I think the Cavs are one of those. But how do you feel? I got to ask you the honest question. Kyrie has never stayed healthy. I mean, he wasn't healthy at Duke. He's been in and out of the lineup since he's been a Cav. Kevin Love, I wouldn't say that he's injury prone, but Kevin Love has had injuries in the past. LeBron is built like a tank, but he's aging. Can you stay healthy long enough to get the chemistry that you're going to need to beat Golden State or Oklahoma City or the Spurs, whoever you meet in the finals? Because I think we're all acquiescing and saying that the Cavs should easily run through the Eastern Conference. LeBron wins the Eastern Conference every year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, but I suspect that we'll make it to the finals. If we don't, that'll be a major failure on our part, and something just terribly wrong happen. But as far as our health, that's the Achilles heel of this team. I mean, that's the thing that can take us out. And to me, a fully healthy Cavs team beats anybody, even Golden State, because we can throw so many waves of people out there at them. As good as Steph Curry is, him and Klay Thompson do not equal him. I think we had this conversation the other day. Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry do not equal Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, LeBron James.
Yeah, your 3 is more talented.
Our 3 is more talented. Our 3 is more explosive. Our 3, at some point, all have been the men of their team and have been the man. and has to really, take that lead dog position and can go off for 40 or 50 points. Clay has that ability. Steph has that ability. Draymond is really an overachiever and really a loudmouth who, if I saw him in the street, I might ski mask him, just straight up. But yeah, man, I mean, I really think that that's the one thing that could derail this. You're right. Kyrie Irving has not ever proven to really be the healthiest player, the most durable, reliable guy. And quite frankly, that's why I'm happy that he didn't play the first half of the season. I'm hoping that his body has had a lot of time to get stronger, that he's been in the gym, that he's been lifting weights, he's been getting his body right and together so that he can endure this 2/3 of the season that he has in front of him. And he'll be ready for the playoffs, and our chemistry can get together. Kevin Love, the way he's built, he's not the most athletic guy. So, I agree. He's someone to worry about. He can hurt his foot. He can hurt his knee. He can land awkwardly. It doesn't take a lot for him to get injured. Shumpert, he can't stay on the floor.
He's always hurt.
He's constantly injured. I mean, he came out and played and looked good and was hustling and hitting open jumpers and slashing, looked great out there. And then next thing you know, he's pulls a groin muscle. I mean, it's just like, come on, dude. But I mean, that's the thing we have to worry about. And to me, notwithstanding injuries, man, I think we have the strongest chance of winning this thing. I mean, Vegas wasn't joking around at the beginning of the year when they said they thought the Cavs had the highest chance to win it all, because our roster's really got a deep roster. We got a good mixture of young and older veteran players. We have game changers. We got people who can defend. We got the full complement. We can play big, we can play small, we can do it all. So it's just really a matter of just living up to our potential and staying healthy. If we do that, again, like I said before, I envision a parade going right down Euclid, me sitting out there with Mia and Tristan and Bryce and just, taking it all in, soaking it all in, and really, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'll be shedding some tears straight up. Real talk.
And I'll be looking forward to that because I can come and gravy train the success of the Cleveland Cavaliers and come to your living room and bandwagon as I have done in the past. As we kind of wrap up, I just wanted to say one thing before we cut the break. Alan, I really appreciate you being a part of this movement, man. This has been an awesome year. We're kind of wrapping up our year, but it's been great having you on the show. It's just been a great experience. We got so many things that we're doing at ASN, setting up for next year. We're about to take this thing global. So, Alan Boseman was one of the first people that when I came up with this idea and kind of floated it out to some of my good friends, Alan was one of the first people that was on board. So, I just have much love and appreciation for all the time that you put in to be on the show, man.
Hey, man, no doubt, man. It's my pleasure. I don't put my stamp of approval on everything, because your reputation, your brand is who you are. It's one and the same.
Definitely.
But I no doubt put my stamp on what you're doing. I think it's great. I think it's giving a different voice to our generation, our friends, our peers, who want to hear sports or political topics or religious topics or other touchy subjects and things that get your emotions going. To have a platform to be able to express those viewpoints, hear those viewpoints, comment on it, and be interactive with the audience is really a wonderful thing, man. And I appreciate the platform, man. I think God's blessed me with certain gifts, and I certainly want to use them in the best way possible. And I think this is one of them. So, man, in whatever ways I can help you, man, I got you.
No doubt, man. Merry Christmas, fam.
Hey, same to you, homie.
Hello, I am Dr. Arlene Archer, otherwise known as The Life Doctor, and you are listening to the Lance J. Radio Show on Advent Sports Network. Between juggling my professional responsibilities as a clinical psychologist and independent business owner, and my personal interests as a wife and mother, I make the time to fulfill my passion of helping others through inspirational videos. Join me on my YouTube channel as The Life Doctor, where I vlog on home life, education, health, fitness, and more.
You're listening to the Sports Talk Ministry and Excellence. That is the Lance J. Radio Show on Advent Sports Network. I have to own up and I always say on my show that when I'm wrong, I will at least be man enough. Unlike some of the people that are on this show, I won't name names, Alan Boseman, Jeremy Winston. I will be man enough to admit that I was wrong. So yesterday, the Indianapolis Colts playoff hopes basically evaporated. Texans won the game 16-10. Matt Hasselbeck took a complete beating. He was made into a human pinata by Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt and company. Colts only managed 190 yards of total offense. This comes on the heels of a 51-16 poleaxing against the Jacksonville Jaguars last week. So the Colts are in complete disarray. They're 6-8. Andrew Luck's hurt. Behind that line, it's amazing that he's not literally dead. So I have to come on here and take the abuse. I said that the Colts would go 14-2 and win the Super Bowl. I was obviously wrong and got caught up in my own press clippings as a Colts fan. The truth is, when you look at this roster and you see what Ryan Grigson has done to this roster, and you see how Chuck Pagano has coached this roster, this is a team that not only is not a Super Bowl contender, but really is one of the true frauds in professional sports. You look at some of the inexplicable moves that Grigson has made, picking up old guys like Andre Johnson and Frank Gore, drafting a wide receiver in the first round when you have one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. Grigson has just made awful moves. His moves have not panned out. Many free agents. I mean, these guys signed LaRon Landry a couple of years ago and gave him a ton of money. It's just been failure to failure. I mean, they've become basically the Washington Redskins of the AFC. The only reason that the Colts have had some success is because they have lucked into Andrew Luck. Without Andrew Luck, the Colts are basically the Browns or the Buccaneers or the Raiders or some of the other bottom feeder, consistently, perpetually mediocre to bad franchises in the NFL. So I have to take some. It's really time for a complete house cleaning. Jim Irsay doesn't listen to my podcast, obviously, but Jim Irsay, it's time to get these guys out. It's time to fire Ryan Grigson. It's time to fire Chuck Pagano. He had a very great story a few years ago when he battled cancer and defeated cancer, kind of galvanized the team. But the truth is, this team gets worse and worse every year. They never recovered from that 45-7 pummeling they took from the New England Patriots January in the AFC Championship. And they have to do something, because if they don't get a better line and protect their franchise quarterback, Andrew Luck's going to regress. He's going to continue to regress. I mean, he was on pace to throw 25 picks this year. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done in Indy. I admit we suck. We're underachievers. You've heard me rip Peyton Manning on this show and rip the Polium regime. We've been frauds and we've been exposed. It's going to be a long offseason for us. If they are able to get Nick Saban and take him away from Alabama, which will make me very happy as an Ohio State fan, Nick Saban will not coach a soft team. They'll go back to the basics. They'll run the ball. They'll play defense. He will completely change that culture. And most of all, it will not be a GM-dominated culture anymore. Polian dominated as the GM after Tony Dungy left. That didn't work out. And Ryan Grigson is dominated as the GM under the Grigson-Pagano regime. It's time to get someone who's a true football guy to make football decisions. And I'm team Nick Saban.
Advent Sports Network is a 503c charity. All advertising proceeds from the Lance J Radio Show are used to fund nationwide youth sports programs and the Advent Sports Network Mentorship and Development Institute, which provides opportunities for young aspiring Christian journalists to cover athletic events and produce sports-related programming.